early,
Totally.
or else you're creating this pattern that it's like, what are you talking about? I've always been like this.
Well, that's it. You know, like, and that works in a couple ways, because look, the truth is I'm always amazed, like, you know, woman's dating a guy, he likes having sex 2 times a day, let's say, right?
Right.
And then they're married for a couple of years and she's fucking him once a week.
Right.
And now she's like, well, why is he upset? It's like, well, wait, he's as advertised.
Right.
You know, he's asking for, can things stay the way they were when I signed on for this
Straight
thing?
up.
Well, so the truth is when you marry somebody, you know, there's a set of circumstances. And I understand shit happens in the world. You have kids, you got stress in life. Like,
yeah, things go up,
right,
they
things
go
go
down.
up, they go down. I'm not talking about transient things.
Right.
But like, you know, baseline.
You're like 2 years of this shit, and it's a problem.
That's right. And when you marry somebody, it's like you're signing on for this whole long ride. And it's like, you know, if I said to you right now, you can have any car you want, you'd be like, oh, I want a Ferrari, I want a Lambo, I want whatever. Okay. Well, if I said to you, that's the only car you're allowed to have for the rest of your life,
I'd get something sensible.
you'd have to get something a little sensible, right? Yeah. Especially because the car that makes sense when you're 20 and the car that makes sense when you're 70 is not going to be the same car. So it's the same thing with marriage. The girl you're going to be interested in, the guy you're going to be interested in when you're 20, when you're 30, when you're going to clubs, when you're, you know, that's not going to be the person that you're going to be interested in when you're in your 50s and 60s and 70s. But yet you sign on for that one car forever.
Buick Grand National.
That's a good choice.
Thanks.
It's sensible, but it's got some style.
So I often, and I say this, like, I look at old people and then I think of all the shit they've had to forgive one another of just to get to this point.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a huge piece of it. I mean, I think taking the person for who they are, not who you wish they were, I think is a huge piece of it. I said that the biggest reason I think people get divorced boils down to 2 things. They don't know what they want, and they don't know how to express it to the other person. Like those 2 basic things. Like half the time we don't even know what we're chasing.
What do you do when you are growing and the other person seems to be stunted?
Yeah, I think you check that. You talk about it.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, my answer, like 42 chapters in the book, and most of them could be boiled down to talk to each other. Just talk to each other. Just be blunt. Just put it right out there. I mean, one of the reasons why this show is like a show that I was really interested in being part of is that, you know, you say it like it is. You just say it blunt. You don't say it the way a person might want to hear it. You say it the way it is. I think in marriage, that's what you got to do. You got to just say it the way it is. And whether the person wants to hear it, and I'd rather have an uncomfortable truth than a comfortable lie. And that's what most people in their marriages have, is real comfortable lies, one after another. It's hard enough to get through the day, you know, just dealing with work and kids and life and everything else. You don't want to sit there when the kids get to bed and say to your partner or your spouse, you know, hey, listen, there's some stuff, you know, that I just want to talk. Like, listen, you kind of said some shit about my sister the other day. It sat weird with me. It just made me feel a little weird with you. But if you don't check that stuff, like no single raindrop's responsible for the flood, but the flood comes, and it's all these little raindrops. And then when people say, oh, we got divorced because, you know, he's fucking his secretary. No, he's fucking his secretary because you guys are far apart, and you got far apart with little tiny things. And that's all I'm trying to say to people.
Yours, mine, and ours.
Just money. Just talking about money.
How do you do that? Like, what is, like...
I think the way you do it, it's an easy sell to your partner, too. You just say to him, look, you know what? I got to have a bank account in my name. You got to have a bank account in your name. We got to have a bank account in our name. And then because look, if I'm buying her a birthday present, I don't want to take it out of the joint account and have her see what I spent on her birthday present where I bought it, and vice versa. So I think you have certain expenses in a marriage. Both of you are paying. You know, it's your rent, whatever, your utilities. And then you got things that you might want to go blow some stupid money on, you know, and maybe as a man, like, let you be a man, let you blow some money on some stupid shit. If you want to buy sneakers, if you want to buy, you know, a stupid car, whatever it is.
Prostitute.
Whatever. Well, maybe that's probably a bad example, but yes, I mean, you know, but that is probably expensive.
Bridge too far.
It is. It's all right. But you know what? You're on the right track, you know, in terms of what it is. It's about having some freedom and having some clarity as to not having to just fight about money all the time. Fighting about money just wrecks people's marriages, and it happens all the time.
888-742-3345. 888-742-3345. Is there one thing that you see where people are just making the wrong choice?
Sure.
What's the main mistake you're seeing people
right
make?
now?
Yeah.
Right now, the biggest mistake I see is that everybody's looking at what everybody else is doing and not what's going on in their own house. Everybody's on social media. Everybody's looking on Instagram. Everybody's seeing Instagram is the greatest hits of your life.
Yeah, no one's showing, like,
here's my shitty day when I was on the couch, or here's my kid with a runny nose, or here's my, here's the night I didn't get laid, or here's where we made shitty dinner instead of going out someplace. It's everybody's greatest hits reel. And if you're comparing your day-to-day life to somebody's greatest hits reel, you will be sad. You will think you are doing worse than you're doing. And that's the big mistake right now. And then, by the way, after you finish feeling shitty about yourself looking on Instagram, log on Facebook and look, my ex-girlfriend from high school just sent me a message. How's she doing? What's she up to? Maybe we should meet up sometime. And it's just the easiest thing in the world. There's a chapter in there called, if I could invent an infidelity generating machine, it would be called Facebook.
I was going to say, social media is
killing marriages.
Is awful for marriage, right?
For relationships, but it's killing marriages. It's killing it.
I mean, I'm on the other side. Like, I'm this known fucking promiscuous dude, and the messages I get from married women are just
insane,
fucking nuts.
Because why though? They're not getting attention. They're not getting praise. Look, for men, sex is everything. It's huge, right? For women, attention, praise, that's sex. That's the same thing for them as sex is for us. I mean, I'm not trying to make too much of a generalization, but women, compliments for women and attention for women, and you're with a woman long enough, you're not going to every day get up and be like, damn, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. You can't keep that level up, But if you don't, Jimmy Iovine said all the time that the way he's been married for 1 billion years is that, he says he never stops trying to close his wife. He's always trying to treat her like someone he's trying to close a deal with. And I think that might be how he does it,
Didn't they get divorced?
No, I think they're doing all right.
They're doing good?
I think they're doing all right. They were, at least when the Defiant ones came out.
888-742-3345. 888-742-3345. Go without or go elsewhere. What's that mean?
Well, it's about sex. It basically just says if you're a dirty motherfucker who likes some dirty stuff, and you're going to be in a relationship with a woman and you guys have agreed you're just going to have that one relationship, you got to tell that person what it is you want. You got to tell them, because if you don't tell them what it is you want,
you're going to go somewhere else.
You're going to go somewhere else. You either go without or you go elsewhere. And nobody wants to go without, and you don't want your partner going elsewhere. So the truth of it is that, look, I'm not into feet. There's people who are into feet, right? Okay. If I was with a woman and she's real into feet, I could fake my way into being into feet. If it's going to make her happy, it's going to make her not go with some other dude, I'll do it.
Like once a week, give her the foot.
Whatever it is, let's do the fucking foot thing now. It's so they don't have to go outside. That's the truth.
It's funny. I was this chick I knew. She had a real Christian boyfriend that would not choke her out, and she would come to my crib once, twice a month, and just have me wring her fucking neck.
But that's the problem. See, like, you get in a relationship with a woman though, and you're with her for a bit. And what happens is, with good intentions, right, you just get into the same routine. Because you first start dating each other, you throw the fucking book at each other. You do all your best stuff at each other in bed. And then after a while, you start to figure out, he likes this. She likes to get choked. He likes when I look him in the eye while I'm blowing him, whatever it might be. And then what you do is, after a while, you go, okay, let's just keep doing the greatest hits. Because we only got a certain amount of time. Let's just do the best stuff. Well, you do that for a couple of months. What do you got? You got a routine. You're just doing the same shit. So you get bored of it. So now what happens? Now you had good intentions. You were trying to keep the greatest hits going, and instead you fucked the whole thing up. So my point is what then starts to happen is, if you do some different shit with a girl you've been sleeping with for a long enough time, all of a sudden she's like, whoa, you called an audible, right? What was that? It becomes a conversation. It doesn't have to, like, what I'm saying is, it can be, in that chapter, I say, look, if you got some weird shit in your head that you just want to try or you want to work out, maybe don't do it right for, just don't start like shoving fingers in people's asses or joking people. But talk about it before. Send her an email. Be like, babe, I was thinking of you the other night. I had a wild dream about you. You did this crazy shit, man. It was so hot. Maybe we should try that sometime. And just get it out with your partner if you can before you start, messaging, radio hosts,
Let's go to Ben in the Bay. Ben.
Yo, what's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up, Ben?
Go ahead. You got James Sexton here. Esquire.
Hey, James.
Hey, what's up, Ben?
I wanted to make a statement, but the chin told me I had to hurry the fuck up and ask the question. So here's the question.
Thanks.
The question is what about initially picking the right person? I mean, we're talking about divorce and down the road, but what about actually picking a good, legitimate person that you're open with, that understands you? And doesn't that set you up at some point for success down the road, so you're not really talking about divorce as much?
Absolutely. I mean, look, good beginnings, lead to good endings, right? But the truth is that, every movie, like the preview is the best parts of the movie, isn't it? I mean, you meet somebody and you say like, oh yeah, this girl's great. Well, okay, that's the preview though. When you're married, there's a joke, when the ring comes on, the mask comes off. A lot of times people treat dating and engagement like the audition process. I don't think anybody gets married with the intention of getting divorced. That's one of the things I think is kind of cool about working in divorce is that you can't fucking pretend you meant to get divorced. Like, oh yeah, I meant to get, you didn't mean to get divorced. You got married, you meant to stay married,
Have you been able to talk couples out of divorce?
Yeah, I have on occasion. I mean, what I'll do is if I see that they got the right ingredients, they're just cooking it up the wrong way, right. I'll try to get them to go see a therapist or something like that and try and see if they can work it out. But like I said in the book, if you're in my office, it's probably already too late.
It's done. It is fucking. Do you think romance movies and porn are two bad things?
Well, I think they're the exact same thing. I think that porn is women's romance movies.
Yeah.
Like romance movies for women is like this idealized version of the thing that they want that's totally unrealistic.
Yes.
And porn is this idealized version of what we want that's totally unrealistic.
Yes.
It's a whole lot easier, though, to fake a porn than it is to fake a romance movie. So long term, like the problem with romance movies, too, is like, you just see like in Titanic, Leonardo DiCaprio drowned before they had a chance to get in a fight. If he hadn't drowned and they stuck around for a while, she would have been like, listen, what are you fucking painting all day for with these quote unquote French girls? Like, what, she'd have gotten pissed eventually.
Straight up.
On vacation, if you met a girl on vacation and you just hung out with her on vacation, this does not mean that you guys are going to get along in the real world.
Yeah, this is a heightened version of life right here.
Yeah, that's why I like The Bachelor in Paradise and shows like that. It's all like, oh, he's so romantic. He's on fucking vacation. Of course he's romantic. You met me on vacation, you'd be like, he's the most laid-back guy in the world.
Even long-distance relationships, you got a weekend to fucking just crush it, and then they go back to their shit, and you fucking make love on the phone.
Yeah, when you actually are there and like leaving the toothpaste cap off and the toilet seat up, and you got to smell the bathroom after they used it, this is a whole nother thing. This is a whole different level of boot camp going on at that point. So to get it back to what Ben was asking, the truth is, you can sign on for the previews and say, oh, I made a good choice about a person, but you know what? At the end of the day, like I said, it takes, this is the reality of things comes with time.
888-742-3345. Hey guys, be quick because I want to get to as many people as possible. Luke in Miami. Go ahead, Luke.
So this guy is 100% on point. I mean, he's saying some factual shit.
Thanks,
I've been married 11 years now, and the fucking romance is like it's dead. It's over. The sex is once a week, maybe twice if I'm lucky. It's just fucked up. We got a 3-year-old child in the mix. I mean, I love my wife, right? But probably should have never gotten fucking married, man.
But you know what?
You're
in the situation so many people are in, man. You got a 3-year-old and you love that kid more than anything in the world, I'm sure, and you want to like not have them. Everybody wants their kid to have a perfect life.
How do you talk it back? Like how do you start that conversation?
I mean,
try to fucking fix shit.
That's the idea of the book. I have a chapter called Hit Send Now, which like when you write an email and you say some shit in it that you're like, oh man, like when I hit send on this thing, I can't take this shit back. Well, that's why I say it's like, you know what? You got to hit send now. You just got to have the balls to just be like, you know what? I'd rather live an uncomfortable truth than a comfortable lie. I got to put that out there. Look, if you love that 3-year-old, whether you stay together with her, whether you split up with her mother, you can still do a really good job for that kid. And what it comes down to is you got to be happy. People got to find happiness. And I think you can if you're really blunt and honest with a person and if you dial it back. But the first step is just admitting you got a problem. I can tell you right now, if you're feeling that way about this marriage and you're fucking once a week and she's not feeling satisfied either. Don't kid yourself.
She's the one holding off on the pussy, so there's got to be something going. So, there's got to be something deeper than that.
Yeah. So that's
you helping
what
out around the house, like washing dishes will help you get some pussy.
Yeah.
I do all the work and I pay all the insurance, all the important stuff. But what's the crutch in the relationship is there's some stepkids involved. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That have now gotten a little bit older.
Your kids or her kids?
Hers.
Yeah, blended families is hard, man. The statistics on blended families for divorce is huge, man.
Nobody wanted those kids, those little throwaway ass children.
Well, the thing is, I love the kids like they're my own, but now that they're older, they're like on this rebellious stage that
Yeah.
You know, I can't reprimand them. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
do
'cause you're
whatever
not-
they want.
yeah.
Don't reprimand. And
Well, but I got to
the
push
best
back on that, man. You know what? You're in that house.
And
You're
you're
in that
paying them
house.
bills.
Those are not. You're not doing anybody any favors by saying, you know what? Those aren't my kids. I don't have a right to step into it. Somebody lives.
But
under
she's
your
got to
roof.
get us back, right?
100%. She's got to get you back. She's got to get.
And
Listen,
that's the
I think
biggest
everybody's
problem. I'm
spouse.
total with it.
Everybody's spouse has got to have each other's back. If your spouse is not that ride or die person that you look at and go, this is my cheerleader. You know, you got to be her cheerleader. She's got to be your cheerleader, man. This world, everybody's trying to fuck us up all the time. You got to have somebody in your corner.
Let me ask you something. Do you think people are overvaluing the kids? Because the way I look at it, I feel like it's husband and wife first. And then it's the kids.
100%.
And a lot of times you see one of the parents put the kids in front of the
100%.
fucking husband.
Well, most of the time you see that. You
Yeah.
know, first of all, kids are here to replace us. Never forget that, all right?
Yeah.
You got to treat these little fuckers the way they need to be treated. Which
Yeah, you
is
gotta
that, you
treat
know what,
them well.
They're here to be. You treat your kids good. You treat them as a priority. But if things aren't right with the spouse,
You got a bad foundation.
you got a terrible foundation to build a family on. You got to take the time to make sure mom and dad are set with each other and make sure that they're a team, they're working together, and that's going to be the best thing you can do for the kids. It
Hey,
really
Luke,
is.
Luke, hold tight. We got extra books we're gonna send you if you're in my office. It's already too late. Hopefully that will help you a bit. All right, my man. And he hung up. So
Said he gave up. It's already too late.
Jesus fucking.
I hope he didn't drive off a bridge.
All right, let's go to Russ in Connecticut. Go ahead, Russ.
Hey, James, how do I get the woman I'm seeing? We're both divorcees. How do I get her on board with this concept of her money, my money, our money? Because we're getting to that point where we're trying to figure out, like get our families
Sure.
together, get us all in the same house, and she's just not even seeing that.
How do you break that up?
Yeah, I think it's actually easy. Women, in my experience, like anything that deepens the relationship. So you don't talk to her about it like it's a division. You talk about it like it's a deepening. You say to her, listen, I want, there's you, there's me, and there's we. And I love you. I don't want you to not be you anymore. I don't want you to become so much part of the we that there's no you anymore. That's how you got to finesse it. And you say to her, listen, I want us to be able to live. I want you to be you. That's the woman I fell in love with. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to keep a little bit of our identity and we're going to keep a little bit of our autonomy and independence. I don't want you to feel dependent on me. I don't want you to feel like you have to be here because I control the finances. I want you to have control. I want you to be an independent woman. You can sing some Beyonce to her, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to do it. And the truth is, it's the best thing for the two of you because you really will have a lot more individual control, and you'll both, let her have the ability to listen. If you put a certain amount of money each month in your fuck it fund, between the two of you, and she wants to buy some shoes with it, or you want to buy some sneakers or some dumb shit with it.
How do you suggest you break it up? All right, yo, Rush, does she have a job?
Yeah, she. Truth be told, right now I'm just finishing up a career change. She's actually making probably about 10% more money than I'm making, but that should change in the next 18 months, and that's my concern. Is right now she's neck out, but in 2 years I realistically will be doing double what she's doing.
Yeah, but you don't
And so
have
I
to
wanna
set it
set
up
my
one
ass.
way and then it's that way forever. What you say to her is, look, this is the structure. The structure is we should be sitting down, talking to each other. You're never going to go wrong telling a woman, we should talk more often. She's never going to be like, no, I don't like that. She's going to be happy to talk more often. And what you say to her is, look, I want us to keep this concept in place where we both have some independence and we both have some joint stuff together. Right now, we got $8,000 a month coming in. Rent, bills, everything all in. You're talking $6,000 is what we're spending. So you know what? You're making a little more money right now. You take $1,500. Let me have $500 of what's left. And then that's our fund for our own individual stuff. We could save it. We could spend it on stuff. We can buy each other gifts, whatever we're going to do with it. And that creates the foundation. And then when the income starts to change, you just sit down and you recorrect it a little bit, move a couple columns over, and that's it. Keep it simple.
That sounds a lot better than when people buy gifts with money that the other person earned.
Was the dumbest thing in the world, too.
It's like,
when
I
you
bought you this with that money you earned.
Right, and when you're married, too, what people don't realize is if you buy your husband a Rolex, you bought yourself one half of a Rolex. Like when you get divorced, a gift you bought your spouse is marital property.
Jesus
so if you
Christ.
buy her a diamond ring, you own half that diamond ring. So, it's important to just call it like it is. Every marriage ends, too, man. It either ends in death or divorce, but every marriage ends.
Dr. Bedell,
Yes.
go ahead.
You all made a statement about Facebook being the cause of infidelity or being one of the causes of infidelity. I think that's somewhat reckless in the fact that when you make a statement like that, I believe that if it's in you to cheat, you're going to cheat. And it doesn't necessarily have to be social media. And I understand that you all weren't saying that everyone who's on social media cheats. But I think when you put so much emphasis on things like social media such as Facebook or Instagram, you're absolving the person of a responsibility for the decision they made to cheat.
Would you say it's a tool to cheat?
Yeah, I think you have a good point. I think you're absolutely right.
I don't think it's a tool, necessarily a tool to cheat. I think people cheat because people cheat.
Right, but people overeat because it's in people to overeat. But if I open a restaurant that has only terrible foods for you and as much of it as you want to eat, and people get fat eating in that restaurant, you can't say my hands are clean. You know, people drink, they're going to want to drink. They're going to drink whenever they want to drink. But if I open an all-you-can-drink buffet where people can get hammered and die of alcohol poisoning, you can't say, oh, well, you have no culpability in that. You know, Facebook puts you in touch with people you have no business talking to. And it has you talking to those people when you're feeling vulnerable or lonely or bored. And it gives you plausible deniability that you can be sitting there on your phone talking to an ex-girlfriend or talking to somebody who you're hitting on and say to your spouse, oh no, I'm just playing Candy Crush over here. It just makes it easier for people to cheat. You know, if you think about that Stevie Wonder song, the Part-Time Lover, you know, those lyrics sound ridiculous to someone right now. Call up, hang once, ring up the phone to let me know you made it home. Yeah. All you got to do now is text your girlfriend, text your secret boyfriend, message him on Instagram, message him on Snapchat. So it's been a problem a long time, but it made it way easier for people to talk to people they got no business talking to.
I guess what I'm trying to say, at the end of the day, whether you're getting something from your spouse or not, cheating is always a choice, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be people out there who don't have sex on a regular basis or who do not get their emotional needs on a regular basis. They still don't make that decision.
True.
People cheat because they haven't set up the appropriate boundaries. People cheat because they lie and they have secrets. People cheat because they have unresolved issues that have not been dealt with. People cheat because they have not dealt with the issues in their marriage. Or if they have tried to deal with issues in their marriage, they have not dealt with them correctly.
I don't think that they both of those things can operate independent of one another. Right. It's you're right about that, but I just think that Instagram and Facebook has become a very easy tool to help
100%.
to help with that cheating. That was kind of more. I can't speak on James, but that was more to my point.
100%. I'm not taking away personal responsibility, but I gotta say to you that, you know, you can't say that dissatisfaction in a marriage has nothing to do with cheating. Like, I don't think what you're saying is, well, some people are just going to cheat because they're lying and they're dishonest. I think it's a question of, has your marriage created a breeding ground for that kind of behavior? Sure, there are people that'll say, you know what, my spouse isn't having sex with me, or my spouse is emotionally neglecting me, but I made a commitment and I'm going to stand by that commitment and I'm going to honor it. Yeah, there's people that have that kind of willpower. There's people that have that kind of commitment. Maybe they have a faith that they adhere to that makes them stick with that. But a lot of people don't have that. I don't think I'm giving away a secret telling you that. I think that, you know, people cheat. Tons and tons of people cheat. It's the number one reason why people get divorced is cheating, by and large. I mean, by an exponent, it's why people get divorced.
No shit.
Oh, yeah. It's the number one reason. Number one is infidelity, and number two is financial impropriety.
Hey, Doc, thanks for calling up with your opinion.
Absolutely.
But the bottom line is...
I just said thank you, for fuck's sake. I just said thank you. I just said thank you.
Note.
Bye.
I think we should have said, you're right. Absolutely right. That was it. It's all his fault.
Can't wait to go. Doc, you married?
Her husband's listening right now. He's like mad.
She's got his nuts in a jar on a fucking shelf somewhere. Jamel in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, what's up? Quick question for you. So I've been with my fiance for more than 12 years, and when we first got together, you know, she always used to jump my bones, and now as it's coming down the line, it feels like I always got to start everything. And when I ask her why don't she start sometimes, she just gives me, you know, like I don't know. So is it something that, you know, I'm doing something that?
Let me just shut you the fuck down. You've been engaged for 12 fucking years.
Yeah, I don't know that legally you can say you're engaged if you've been engaged 12 years.
Yeah, what the
That's
fuck?
like
And then you're like, I wonder why she doesn't want to fuck me anymore.
Yeah.
No. We've been together for 12 years.
Okay.
My bad. We've been together for 12 years, and we only been engaged for probably like 2 years.
So I just want to
Oh.
just start by saying that you managed to stay with this woman for 10 years without having to put a ring on her finger. I think that in and of itself probably deserves some kind of applause. I'm impressed by that. But that being said,
hit that button.
yeah, that being said, I think you got, you just got the gunshots. I think that what you got to really think about is that, you know what, like, you got to talk to her about it. You got to, now's the time, man. Now's the time. Now's the time to sit down and say to her, look, you know what, I liked how it was. And by the way, don't put it as a failure. Don't say to her, like, hey, you used to do this, now you don't, and you're screwing it up. Make it clear to her, listen, man, I still think you're sexy as hell. I still want I want you just as much as I ever did. Because what you're describing is you're saying it's not that she's not sleeping with you. It's that you feel like she's not wanting to sleep with you. And I get that completely, man. Like if you got to talk a girl into giving you a blowjob and then she gives you a blowjob, that ain't a good blowjob. You want the one where she just wants to give it to you. So that's the point. But you got to sit down and explain to her, listen, you're still sexy as hell to me. You're still somebody who I feel so connected with. You still turn me on. That's why I'm signing on for you for the rest of my life. But if you're not feeling that way about me, let me know. Am I doing something different? Have I changed somehow? Am I screwing something up? Am I not turning you on? And talk to her about it. And hopefully you can get yourselves to that place. It's if you don't talk about it, man, women can't hear what you don't say. So you got to say it to them.
Right.
All right, we got time.
But they also, yep. All right, I'll take it. Y'all take it easy.
All right, Jamel. We got time for one more. You got to come back. The phone lines are blown.
Anytime, man.
The phone lines are blown up.
Great to
for
be
you.
here. Anytime.
Let's we'll end with Michael in Chicago. Go ahead, Mike. Michael.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
You got it, bro. Go ahead, man.
Hey, I just want to say, man, Jude, I love your show, and
all right, man. You got James Sexton, man. Go ahead. What would you like?
Hey, James, what I want to tell you is, it ain't so much a financial problem. It's grown kids in the house. And when they run in the house when you go. And what can you do about that? I've been married 38 years. I've been with my wife for 40 years.
How old are they?
And I can't seem to get two kids out the house.
How old are they?
One is 22 and the other one's 28.
The fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah, legally, man, you know what? Kid turns 18. Legally, you can put them right out the door. 21, you definitely can put them out the door, and you don't have to pay anybody any child support. So, listen, I'm a father of two. I got a 19-year-old and a 21-year-old. I told them both when they graduated high school, it's college, military, go get a job. You're not living on my couch. You're not living with me anymore. It's time to go be a man.
You're doing them a disservice too, man. Like, you're allowing them to be these perpetual children. And then they're not growing up. They're living at the fucking crib.
And I understand why you do it, man. You know what? You love your kids. You want them to be successful. You don't want to see them ever have to suffer. But I guarantee some of the things that made you is some of the suffering you went through and some of the things you had to do and the challenges you had to overcome. You can't shield your kids forever from stuff. You got to get them out there. And if that's going to hurt you've been married a long time, man. And that's worthy of praise. It really is. I mean, you married for, what did you say, 38 years? That's 38 years.
38 years.
If you'd killed her, you'd have been out of jail by now.
I love her to death, man, but it seems like the kids is pimping her. They won't do it to me, but
so they're manipulating her.
She come to me and said, "Well, baby, let them stay a little longer." Right. They got jobs.
Right.
They don't pay no rent, don't pay anything.
Oh, no.
Well, they're entirely too comfortable.
You got to get responsible.
They're entirely too comfortable. You got to make them a little uncomfortable. And maybe when she's coming to you about this stuff too, you know what? Maybe there's a part of her that probably wants you to be the man about it and say to her, "Listen, I love these kids too, but they got to get out the door, and I'll be the bad guy if you need me to be the bad guy."
Cut off cable, cut off internet, cut off all that shit. Get the motherfuckers the fuck out. And you'll be doing them a favor in the long run. Right now, you got you got a 28-year-old teenager.
Yep.
Living at your fucking house, man. Yep. You're not doing them any favors.
And you got to tell her that too. You got to make her know, listen, I love these kids enough that I'm going to kick them in the ass a little bit. I love them enough that I'm going to help them get where they need to go. That's your final task as a parent.
She's a soft touch, bro. You're gonna have to fucking get her on board.
Good luck with it, man.
Like, all hell break loose, and I got so much love for her. I don't want to see
Quit
me
being a
without
pussy.
her. You understand what I'm saying?
She ain't gonna
totally
leave you.
understand.
You've been together for 40 fucking years. She ain't gonna leave you off of this shit.
She might be wanting you to do this,
Yeah,
man.
but-
She's not saying it, but she might be wanting you to be the strong one to do this. Because that's tough, man. It's got to be hard on her, too. And you can show her it's an act of love, man. It's not out of selfishness. You're not saying, listen, I don't like that they take up too much space on the couch. You're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to show them love the right way, and you got to make that clear to her.
I swear to God, I feel like half the time women test you just to see if you're gonna fucking do it, and if you
100%.
don't, they think you're a bitch. So like, you kind of got to boss up on this shit.
Yeah, they pull to see, they feel you pull back. You know what I mean? They pull to see if you're going to be man enough to pull back in the right ways. And like I said, you're protecting her too. You're protecting your marriage, man. You care enough about that marriage, you got to protect it.
If you're in my office, it's already too late. Is the book James J. Sexton Esquire. We got to have you come back because the phone lines blew up. They really wanted to holler. It's always nice because people call me up with like lawyer problems, and I'm dumb. Like, I'm not a fucking lawyer. So
I wouldn't say you're dumb. I think you actually got a lot to contribute to the dialogue. But I'm happy to come back anytime.
it's great to have you on here, man. Thank you so much, and they can